There's nothing quite like a throwback to one of the greatest video games of all time, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. What is going on YouTube? King Kevin here with some MW2 TDM gameplay on Estate. I decided to post this older gameplay to talk about my gaming background and how I got to where I am today with regards to gaming. I figured this will be a great topic to talk about to introduce and kick off my gaming channel. For starters, I did not have video games when I was growing up. This was courtesy of my parents, who instilled in me the value of focusing on school and education at a very young age. Because of this, I gradually eased into gaming over the course of about 6 to 8 years. I think the very first video game I played was RuneScape. Old school, of course. I started sometime between 6th and 7th grade and absolutely loved it. My favorite and highest skill was mining, and I got to the point where I could sometimes outmine Runite ore when competing with other players and could comfortably 1 or 2 hit mine Addy ore. Unsurprisingly, my next highest level was smithing, and I was able to smith Addy longswords. Whenever I got tired of the mining and smithing grind, I did combat training. I don't remember what my stats were exactly, but I could usually hit within the mid-teens in terms of damage. The next phase of my gaming career, as we'll call it, started in early high school. This is what really pushed me into the realm of FPS games. Valve's popular Team Fortress 2 was one of the first games I tried simply because it was free to play, and I couldn't justify spending the little money I had on video games. I enjoyed the variety of characters you could choose and the game modes you could play, but it wasn't really well optimized for Mac, which was the only computer I had. And yes, I can hear you guys laughing in the background that I was gaming on a Mac, but my laptop actually served me quite well in my early stages of gaming. When Portal 2 came out in 2011, I ended up buying it and the original Portal during a Steam sale. I fell in love with the concept of combining an FPS with a strategy and puzzle game, but I wasn't too keen on the co-op experience because it felt really awkward to talk to someone over a video game. By the time college had started, I was set on FPS games, heavily playing Left 4 Dead 2 on the weekends, which again I bought during a Steam sale a while before. Sophomore year of college was when I got my first taste of console gaming. I had a roommate who was a little bit extravagant with regards to his technology, so he bought a 60-inch TV for our tiny 4-person apartment. He brought his Wii from home and some games to play, including one I've always wanted to try, Mario Kart Double Dash. I've played Mario Kart 64 before using an emulator, but Double Dash appealed to me because it was slightly more complex of a game with much better graphics. I played the game way more than I'd like to admit, so I ended up getting really good at it. And because of the massive TV, our apartment was the hub for video game competitions, and I would almost always come first in Double Dash. Whenever we got tired of playing Mario Kart, we switched over to the other popular game we had, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I personally hated this game at first because I couldn't stay on the stupid stage, and we always played stock with 3 lives. Needless to say, I was frequently out of the game within the first minute or so. I eventually learned and understood the movement and attack mechanics, but to this day I'm still very awful at the game. I tried playing it again a couple weeks ago and I could barely beat 3 level 3 CPU players. 2 summers ago, I purchased MW2 during the Steam Summer Sale and quickly became obsessed with the awesome online multiplayer experience aside from the overpowered and annoying noob tubes. Unsurprisingly enough, the slow planning used in the Portal games and the spray and pray that I used in Left 4 Dead 2 were quite the opposite of what was needed in Call of Duty. But by this time I felt like I had missed the window of opportunity where learning skills like accurate and precise aiming are more easily acquired, and this resulted in very many deaths and poor KD ratios, and I'm talking less than like a 0.4 in Team Deathmatch. To this day, I still don't consider myself a crazy awesome gamer who gets incredible game scores, but I have gotten a decent bit better, and I will try to post interesting gameplays whenever I can record them. Junior year of college was when I got my second taste of console gaming, but this time with the Xbox 360. Someone at my university was selling one for $75, so my roommates and I decided to split the cost of it for our apartment. The console came with Call of Duty Ghosts, and because the graphics looked quite good in my opinion, I was relatively happy with the game. Across my roommates, we were also able to acquire many more games like World at War, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 2 for the 360. Using a controller for an FPS game was so foreign to me, and I struggled so much with aiming no matter which game we played. When playing split-screen multiplayer with my friends, I would get absolutely slaughtered. There was even a point when I was firing at my friend with an SMG and he put his controller down, but in that time he was able to pick his controller back up, turn around, and kill me first. Needless to say, I was pretty furious and upset that I was so bad at video games. I purchased MW3 during the following Steam Summer Sale, but was rather disappointed when the game wasn't nearly as fun as Modern Warfare 2. I didn't like the maps that much, some of the guns were clearly overpowered, and the spawns, as we all know, were broken. I only really played it because it was much easier to find a non-hacked game in it, although performance-wise, I still sucked. This was also the same summer that I finally invested in some gaming peripherals. I bought a SteelSeries Rival gaming mouse and a QCK mousepad, both of which I still use to this day. I received a gaming keyboard courtesy of one of my other YouTube channels that specializes in tech reviews, but at this point I was still gaming on my Mac. I felt like I wanted more out of gaming, so it was at this point in time that I first thought about building a gaming PC. Sophomore and junior years of college were rough ones for me all around. So the fall of my senior year, I decided that I was going to build a gaming PC as a graduation gift to myself. Over the course of that academic year, I spent an obscene amount of time reading articles and watching videos on how to build gaming PCs. There were times when I actually felt like I was studying and memorizing computer component specs more than I was actually studying for my classes. But after all that time, research, and effort, the crystal clear gameplay you're watching right now is proudly brought to you by $1,400 of PC parts and hours of hardware and software tweaking. Because I know some of you guys are going to ask, if you want to check out the specs and components I have in my gaming PC, there will be a link down below to my Twitch channel where I will usually have an updated list of what's going on under the hood. Speaking of Twitch, I do not have a set streaming schedule, but whenever I do stream, I will upload a quick video letting you guys know, or if you'd rather, just go ahead and follow me on Twitch to get a notification whenever I go live. That does it for my rather long gaming background, so let's talk about this gameplay you're watching, which honestly shocked me in terms of how well I did. I was hesitant to play MW2 again because it's notoriously filled with people who do nothing but tube and hack all day long. However, this gameplay was the first game of MW2 I've played in about a year, which you can probably tell because my sensitivity was way off in the beginning, and I also wasn't aware that I didn't have a stinger on as a secondary. The class I'm using is the legendary silenced UMP-45 with the similarly awesome Raffica as my secondary weapon. I've got a Semtex and stun grenades equipped, and my perks are Sleight of Hand Pro, Cold-Blooded, and Ninja. I chose a relatively stealthy class because I know UAVs get spammed a lot, and I didn't want to have to take up my secondary with a stinger or have to rely on teammates to shoot them down. I also know that it was my first game in a while, and I wanted to give myself a slight advantage over players who had recently played and didn't need to readjust to the boots on the ground movement mechanics that I've come to forget while playing Black Ops 3. For what it's worth, my death streak is Painkiller, even though I don't think I ever get it in this game, and my kill streaks are UAV, Predator Missile, and Harrier Strike. That just about does it for my gaming background. I apologize that this was a long first video, but in the future I will try to make the videos shorter and more enjoyable. Also, go ahead and let me know in the comments below what your gaming experience was and what got you interested in gaming. I'd love to hear your stories too. So thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, please feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe for more content in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next video.